All right, let's go ahead and go, and I'll post an alert here to let everybody know. Let's do a quick recap. Let's do a quick recap. Send that out. Boom. All right, let's get started. So again, today is the 7th of August, 2023. I hope your day's going well. If it's anything like mine, it is super slow. It feels like a nice digesting day. The market did what we expected it to do. It bounced last night, probably throwing people off who might have, bought the downside on Friday afternoon. And the market tends to do that. And we're going to go over and just kind of check out what the market's currently doing at 45.30. It's been stuck here all day. I had some amazing targets. They hit those targets. Unfortunately, it just stayed there. SPX, I tried a trade here that looks like it's going to go for a full loss for 165 bucks. So a small trade. If you don't know anything about my SPX trades, I trade what I'm willing to lose. It just makes it easier for me so that I'm not trying to, I just don't want to put a lot of money into it because they could lose value so fast. If I feel like we're trending, then I'll probably put a little bit more money in it. But as of right now, this is just a relief bounce. And we came into the day on that relief bounce. So the market had already moved. And if you weren't trading ES futures, you weren't really, I shouldn't say that you weren't able to take some points from the market because we could definitely do that by using the strategy, and we'll get to the smaller time frame to kind of show you that. But as of right now, if we look at the weekly, you can see that we popped down here by support, and I talked about this in the BMA, and I specifically said that the SPY, QQQ, ES, NASDAQ, whatever, closed on Friday right at support, and that we would probably see some kind of move into the night session, and that's what we got, right? And then we kind of get that bit of a pullback where it looked like it might have been going red and it did not do that. And again, so just another relief rally. And my question is, where is it going compared to last week's high? And we'll take a look at that right here. So if I take a Fibonacci and I draw from this last week's high into the low, you can see that we're pushing up basically into the 23.6. Now the 23.6 and the 38.2 are resistance until proven otherwise. And you guys can see that. Control Z, I took off the wrong one. You could see that right here. All right, so that's what we were talking about over the weekend. All right, so again, even if we're having this relief bounce, nothing really changes. It's still sort of digest sideways to down until proven otherwise. Proven otherwise would mean we would start to get over this blue line that's up here, and that's around 45, 42 or so. All right, so not too far away, about 10, 11 points from here. All right. Now let's go into the smaller time frame. This is going to be the daily. And if you recall, I just want to go over everything we talked about on Friday, or sorry, Sunday. I left this green level here, and if you look very closely, this was your trigger long from 2 weeks ago. That worked really well. So another reason why I felt like we might get that relief bounce. And boom, you get that pop. We already looked at it. It's about 23% to the upside. All right. Now, we're over this resistance level. We're still in the cloud. And if I zoom in here, you can just put a circle around this. It's going to be choppy in here. It's going to be choppy. It's going to be slow. You can see here that when we move above the cloud, this is where the trend really starts to take place. Um, that's what I see. Let's go ahead and move on. This is going to be your 4 hour. Another reason why I felt like we could get a relief bounce was the fact that we had moved from the zone here and not being a D for a T, very close to demand. This is a little sketchy. What I mean by that is, again, we're only balancing about 23% and we didn't quite come into the demand zone. All right, so there's still a possibility if we can't get outside of this 4 hour cloud that, we could perhaps be creating what we call an H pattern. So lowercase h, where it pops up into those fibs and those clouds, and then gets us back down here into the demand zone. All right. So again, that's what I'm looking at so far today. Now, when we get over to the smaller time frame, I want to show you how unique and how fun this can be. Even after looking at all of that data, could you have made any money coming in here today? Well, the fact of the matter is we used the PMZ. Your PMZ was about 3 points wide. You can use the micros on this. You can use the SPY. It's totally up to you what you want to do. Notice that we did get the bids out of the PMZ on the open. Those bids did push us into our targets to the upside. This little guy right here was there this morning. We hit that target. So if you were just gunning for it with a 3 point stop, we hit that. And that gave you several points to the upside, or about 10 points. Notice that then it came down. It gave you a short signal, but only moved about 3 points to the downside. Looking left, there's nothing really here that would say that it would have been supported, but it did. It went bid. It never closed under the PMZ, folks, this entire day. So if we look really close, our PMZ levels worked really, really well. We got another opportunity here if you want to try to go long. It's just that they turned the dial. And what I'd like to explain to everybody is that dial, if you were to turn it up, and let's just say that it's like RPMs. Let's say that that goes up to 10 RPM. They got this thing at a 2 today. And so the structure is working. All right. What's not working is that when we get into moments of trend, we tend to get our results a lot quicker. And so we get to this point where it feels impatient, right? And we start to do silly things and not doing the things that we should be doing. But when we go back and we look at the end of the day, like right now, you can't sit here and argue that this level didn't work and that the target didn't work. And all these were given to you this morning. What stinks is if you're watching it, and I've been watching this with you, is that you get very, very impatient because of uh, we're set on a dial of number two, and it's just really slow, it's really boring, and it's just not very exciting. Okay, so that's the ES futures. Let's get down here to the NASDAQ. All right, so we're going to pull this over into the weekly, and here we go again. Nice little relief bounce. Like I said, it got very close to support. We hit that. Sorry, we did not hit that, but we did get our relief bounce. And if you look over here, we indeed, if you want to put a zone around this, you could have used the wicks here, which would have gave you a safer approach. And we did come into that zone, and we are popping out of that zone. Okay. Coming over here on the daily, we have not reached the trigger long, nor have we reached resistance. For me, it just says, hey, this is kind of a really slow, choppy day. When you're looking at the daily, it is a nice relief bounce. And if we come up here and we simply look at the range itself and go from, let's say, last week's high or so, again, you're at the 23.6, not much to look at. All right. So again, relief bounce. They happen between the 23 and 38. Bulls, you need a move above that in order to start to feel a little bit safer. Although it's 30 plus points, and the NASDAQ is then also moving about 109 points, it's still considered a relief rally as far as my Fibonacci goes. That's what I like to teach. Okay. Coming into a smaller time frame. Now, this one did hit the demand zone. You could see that it worked really well. It's moved from 15,341 and it's worked several different times. And how do you know that? Because we found the zone a long time ago, and you can see that we rallied from here once, we rallied from here, here, and we rallied here. So 3 times we've come back to this demand zone. I do believe if we can't get through the cloud, we're going to go deeper into the demand zone. And that really synergistically would make sense if you're looking at the ES futures, who have not come back down into their demand zone. All right. And there's a couple levels. And again, I don't have to be perfect, but it's a little suspect right now because price did not come back on the ES futures and so forth. Again, before I move on and show you the other trades that I've taken today, I want you to just understand that the cloud is resistance until proven otherwise. It does not mean that we can't take trades to the upside. It just means that you want to be a little bit more careful. We bring it down into a 5 minute. You can see here as well, we pushed out of the PMZ today. We hit, these areas in here. And quite funny, we hit our target down here. This is the target I gave everyone this morning. And from that target, this is where you go back and you start to realize that sometimes micromanaging trades just doesn't really work out for you. And what I mean by that is that this target here, the idea is that this is a demand level and that buyers will show up here. And if you look at it very clearly, it indeed went bid. Buyers stepped in, and if you were just to walk away, and as long as we didn't break below that 319 level, that you could come back and find yourself all the way up here towards 465. And again, this is almost 100 points, guys, from my target. All right. And then the upper target, and you could see this tonight, could be 15,503. Okay. So again, the targets are working really well. What's not working is when you micromanage things and they turn the dial to two, guess what? Things are going to get a little bit more difficult. And you can kind of see that today, or I sense that from traders. All right. So that's the NASDAQ. Now, as far as trades go, let's see if I could pull up the, I think it was the ES. Yeah, so we're looking right here. So this morning, I was getting, I was getting kind of pumped up. We were finally moving out of the PMZ on the ES futures. I'd made some good trades on the futures, and I said, you know what? I'm going to put some money behind this idea, and just so that I could show you guys in case you missed it this morning, this is the ES futures. Okay, this is the ES futures on the daily, just paying attention to the bigger picture. And this right here is going to be the SPX premium chart. All right, so basically what you're seeing is the price of the option. I only put one of these on today, but you can see that it's going to close for zero. Now, is that a big deal? Not at all. It's only a big deal if you put an amount that you're not comfortable using. You can see that I put 165, I think, into this trade. And what we wanted, just so that you understand, is that we wanted this PMZ, you wanted price to move over the PMZ, and it did. It actually looked pretty good for a few. I think we got up to $2 on this, but I obviously wanted more. I wanted around $3.65 to hit my target, and so that did not happen. Matter of fact, you can see the PMZ on the premium chart was resistance the entire day. All right, and it just didn't work out. So time was against us on this particular trade, and the fact that and it could never build over the PMZ. All right, so we'll keep trying these probably every single day. I love trading SPX, so we'll continue to do that with the same strategy. And we know, obviously, if we get a trending day, you could have sold credit here, but if we get a trending day, this thing will really pay off. Or if we get a trending day and we're on the put side, this will really pay off. Okay, time was definitely a factor there. All right, so that once again, folks, was the SPX trade, and then I came over here. I have Disney. Long term, just want to talk about it really quick. They have earnings coming up. This is really important for you to know. Their earnings is on the 9th, and unlike a lot of people, earnings don't really they don't phase me. So I'm not concerned about earnings. I don't care if they go down. I bought 529 days, and what I want to be is at a 2% position. And in the back of my head, to be very honest with you, what I want and what I get are two different things, right? But what I would like to have is I want to build this up to a 2% position, but I don't want it to gap up too much. Let's just say that they do well. All right, I don't want that. When I come over to, matter of fact, let's get over here to Trading View. And I also took an oil futures to the long side that worked out. I'll talk about that here in a second. Let's go to Disney. Let's go to a higher time frame. Let's go to the quarterly. Okay, and again, my position is a leap position. And the chart itself, I mean, looks awful. It's underneath the cloud. It's green to white to red. We're moving down on our next quarterly candle here. It's an inside and down at the moment. Now, it's not a supply zone. A supply zone would look more like this. We'd have a deep move out. Right now, it's just the idea that it could be an inside and down, but we're not exactly sure. If I come over here and I measure as far as percent goes, I believe we just go like this into here. You can see that we've dropped about 58%. Okay. 58% here on Disney since the high. Now, earlier in the year, Amazon, Google, everybody, and I say everybody, I'm sure there's a few of you out there who really stuck to the technicals, but there's a lot of people who are really worried. And I kept saying, these bigger companies like this, it's hard for me to believe that 60% pullback to 70% pullback is not a buying opportunity. All right, for the long term. And again, that's why I'm buying out 529 days on an option here. All right. And I'm slowly scaling into this. And I want to talk about the truth of the matter could be that I could be completely wrong and that the signs were right here in front of my face. And, this red candle could have come all the way down to $52, folks. All right. It is possible. We have a demand zone here on the quarterly. We have all the technical traders will be looking at a double bottom here. And if that doesn't hold, Mickey Mouse is in pure panic. It's going to be ugly. All right. So I want to talk about that just for a second. So understand that every time I go into a position, that I'm always summing things up as I'm going to lose a trade because it doesn't make sense for you to get into a trade and think that you're going to win every time. We know that the market's smarter. We have levels on our side and we try to be as disciplined as we can. But the fact of the matter is, you cannot predict. I cannot predict. Even though a lot of my charts work out, and a lot of traders over the years will say, hey, John, these charts are amazing. The truth of the matter is, I'm not rolling a little eight ball. I'm not trying to figure out, exactly what's going to happen. I'm actually more open to the idea of what I'm paying, I could lose. So 2% of my account right now just simply means that right now, I'm close to 1% on this position. And if for some reason we break down and we get down towards an area of support, I will add into that position. Okay. Please understand that. I did the same thing in plug this year and we trimmed, it pulled, it pulled, it pulled. I added, we went up to 200% and I'm still holding plug and we'll talk about that here in a second. All right. But this is my idea and you need to understand no matter how I look at this, all right. If I put 2K in here, I'm going to lose 2K if this does not work out for me in 500 and something days. Okay. But I am using technicals here to try and trade this off a lower zone. And the idea that we have a pretty solid company that's down about 60% right now. Okay. Let's move over here to plug. This one again. My plan here is I trimmed. Now I left a little bit on. And for some reason, all right, that this does not work out. And by the way, look at that beautiful rejection up here around the inside and down. If for some reason this doesn't work out, I'll be looking to add. What I want from plug, all right, in the next coming days is trading at about $11, is I really don't want it to break down below 9. All right, it hung around at 9 for a long time. And let's go to a little bit smaller time frame. It hung around that 9 level in here for quite some time. And it finally broke out. But if you notice from a technical standpoint, it simply just pushed up into the cloud and it rejected. So this is what we would expect. All right. So it was a fun run, got up to, on the ads at around 200%, and then it pulled back. All right. Now this pullback, what I don't want to see, like I said, I don't really want to see this past 9. And if you want to use some fibs, you can come up here and you can measure from that pivot to that high. All right. And what I would not want to see, it's already broke down below the bull channel, but I don't want to see a 618 break. All right. 618 being the golden Fibonacci. I don't want to see that broken. And let's go over here just so you can see it really quick. Let's go to norm right there. And your 618 is around 10. All right. So, if it hits 9, it's like, wow, okay, that trend is broken again. All right. So that's what's going on there on plug. And that particular position has 165 days left. So I get the questions all the time. Hey, John, what kind of options do you put on? And I feel like, I'm trading all kinds of good stuff. I got leaps in here. I got future options on. We got debit spreads and oil futures. I'm trading futures just straight up on oil as well. And then comes Tesla. Let's talk about Tesla really quick and see what's happening there. I started a debit spread to the upside. This has 74 days. It was up, but I wasn't wanting to sell. I wanted to add into this trade, and it looks like I might get that opportunity. And if you look at the monthly, we're getting really close to the cloud down here. And this is probably about where I would add again. I got that question earlier. So that's somewhere between 232, 210, somewhere in here. and I'm trying to target into their next earnings. That's what I'm looking for. All right. Let's see. Also started UNH today. It is right around the area where I want to add, so I might add right before the close. So just be prepared. We have about 8 minutes left. And then moving on down here, we have Boeing. Our call side went up almost 100%. I think some of you guys said you got 120% out of that. And then on the put side, we bought back the short side. And, if you're not a member, you're probably wondering what the heck I'm talking about. But if you want to learn about that strategy, you're more than welcome to come here and hang out with us. SPY, I am long on shares. Let me go ahead and show you that as well. And all I'm doing is using the neutral strategy. All right, so we already trimmed and then we're looking for our first target. And if you guys are, part of my YouTube and you watch this strategy, man, it's really cool, guys. I don't care if you do this with 3 shares or 3,000 shares or 10 contracts or 1 contract. The fact of the matter is I took the trade because it was over the neutral. And the reason why, if anybody's really interested, could somebody tell me that's listening why I would buy shares today? Anybody have any idea why I might want to buy shares? I mean, after today's day, why would we want to buy shares instead of an option? And for me, the reason why is because the option decay is just awful right now, unless something's really moving fast. So anyways, I'm just targeting T1 right here at 450.86. And if we get there, if we don't have to be a D for a T. You can just go ahead and sell right before we get there. We've already trimmed once, but we made over $1, all right, off our initial entry, and that's cool. And if you got QQQ, same thing. We're staying above there. Some folks wait until right before the end of the day to figure out if they want to be in it. The only thing that I would say is that we're still in the cloud, just like I showed you a few minutes ago. So these clouds are resistance until proven otherwise. And because of that, I would just know that tomorrow, you might get lucky and pop over this, or we're going to end up down here, and then you're going to go back and go, oh, it's because we were in the cloud, right? So, not trying to scare anybody, just trying to be real with you. All right. Next, Walmart. Looks like I'm probably going to have to close this. I put a stop on it, and the stop was based off of. Here, let me bring up. It's based on a level, not my percentage, and you guys know that I like doing that. So if Walmart does not break below my level, then I do not get out. So I'm big on just looking at levels, not percentages. So this is an OCO order, and it's programmed to say, hey, if we drop below 160 in this level here, then I get stopped out. If we don't, then I take that trade into the overnight. Okay. All right, and somebody had a question about it looks like Lucid. Are they do they have earnings tonight? And what is Lucid? I'm just kidding. All right, so green to white to red, and the way that I like to give you these numbers is based off of technicals, not fundamentals. So you're very close to the demand zone today. It feels like it could be pretty, I don't know, feels like it could be pretty, oh, it looks like we hit our target. Nice. So we hit our target at target 1 on SPY. That's what that was. All right, so if I were to give you numbers for tonight, I believe that 548 holds. And far as like to the upside, I believe we can hit, it's going to be right here above the structure, 690 to 748. Okay, this is my area that I believe we could stay in. Now, if you like really big lottos and you love this company and you think they're going to the moon, I wouldn't aim for anything over the edge or the 200 SMA. Notice that the 200 and the edge are coming into play. This would definitely be a viable target, for a fun lotto if they could get their stuff together. That's a pretty big move, though. So just understand that. Okay. Hate it, just trading it. I love that, man. Yeah, I hate it, just trading it. There you go. Let me see if my levels work tonight, okay? So it looks like that. And it looks like my PayPal equity is starting to come back a little bit as well. Same thing we've been adding as it drops, just very slowly. Everything's really slow. All right, BA. It looks like our calls are back up to about almost 80% here. I'm really let me pull over BA just one more time. I really don't want to. I just want to stick to the plan. You know what I'm saying? Like I could have got out for about 100% earlier, but I really just want to sell our calls up at the trendy edge. You know, that was if you remember, I know that some of you guys sold for profits already or whatever, but this particular trade I really wanted to hit between 240 and 242 before I sell. All right. So I need to stick to it. That's what sample size means. You understand what the strategy is, and so far the strategy's already paid off. So if you close out both sides, you would have actually made money today. And so I'm really excited to continue this strategy with you. So, we're going to have to come up with a name. We might have to do like a contest for this type of name for this strategy. We already had the neutral strategy, and we have the ACDC strategy. And then this guy right here, I'm gonna have to come up with something pretty clever. So yeah, so Netflix looking like an ACDC as well. Let's go over here and take a look. Yeah, that's a nice one. All right, so ACDC is what you said there, Bob. Yep, you're exactly right. Yep, yep. And this is great. This is like the beginning of it. So this is what I'm gonna do. I feel like I have enough. Well, too late now. I almost took that, Bob. Almost took that, man. So tomorrow might be the day to take it. So our ACDC, so we're looking for a move in a 476. So right here, and you can see that the trendy edge is lined up with the supply over here. So that's awesome. This is definitely a watch, man, going into tomorrow. It'd be awesome if we can get just like if it pops, pulls back, then I'll buy it and look for that move up there. So should be fun. So when is this Lucid coming up? Is that right after the bell? Oh, and I think Melissa also had an Oxy trade this morning. So we'll find our footing here very soon. And let's see, Melissa, I stayed in Ashley's account. I stayed in XOM. Actually scaled into it, so I'm down 25%. See what happens there. I'm kind of bullish, obviously, on oil and so forth. So, and I want to talk about oil really quick as well. Yeah, so far, I mean, you got an inside day on a bullish trend. So, bulls, if this thing goes inside and up, I think we head towards 86, $87. We're above the 200 SMA. The weekly is gone from red to white. And if you guys recall, I'm looking for a move into 93 to 100. I'll be wrong when we close below 77. All right. So that's how that looks, guys. Walmart didn't get stopped out, again, based on a level. And SPX will get them again. You guys know when the SPX start hitting, man, it's going to make up. It's kind of cool because the way that you want this to work out is if a couple SPX don't work out, you're okay with the risk. This is me speaking. But then when they do work out and we start to capture 300, 400, 500, 600%, you start to look back and go, oh, now I'm starting to understand the probabilities here. That's what keeps me going. So keep your chin up. We'll have a great day. We'll have a great week. Anything that you can improve on, please work on that. If you have any questions, feel free. You guys know our chat doesn't get archived or anything for the entire week. So please ask questions and those type of things. Mary, let's look at your RCL for ACDC and talk about that. And I'm going to go to a 4 hour. Yeah. So, I mean, this one, it came down, it got close to the decelerator, then it pushed. And so, depending on how you did this on a pullback or if you broke over this, you can see though, what is the, right here. Wait, RCL, this thing was trading at $108. Did this have a forward split or something? I mean, sorry, a reverse split? I thought this was a lot cheaper. Hmm. Was it always 100 and something dollars? What am I missing something here? Oh, okay, maybe I was thinking of, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. I was like CCL, RCL. Wife's actually looking at cruises right now as we speak, you know? So that was kind of cool. We hit so yeah, this is a you know an ACDC, but like to the upside, you're looking at 110. So unless you got it down there towards the accelerators or decelerators, it looks a lot, it looks great. But if you're getting it now, I don't know. Feels like it's kind of close to resistance, right? It should get more exciting towards the end of the week, as we have some more names reporting this week. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna tell you, man, the earth is on fire. All right, here in Florida, it is absolutely hot. It makes it very difficult to even go outside. So you guys be careful out there. Make sure you hydrate and stuff. Make sure you're back. I know it's really gross. Like my Florida room, I can't even keep it cool because I got windows all the way around me, and it's hot in here. It's crazy. It won't stay in this particular room. I can't keep it cooler than 79, which some of you guys probably think that's cold, but for me, I don't know, that's hot. So it's funny you say that. My daughter is actually training for a half a marathon, my youngest, and I told her, I'm like, man, you gotta be careful for sure. All right, so looks like first reaction here on Lucid is down about 20 cents or so. See how it takes on this level here. And UNH, I had an order in, it did not get filled, it looks like. So we must have had a push there right at the end of the day, huh? 45.18. Gosh, man, we're so close. Crazy, man. Let's go back and take a look at the levels. See, right at the end of the day, man, they just decided, hey, we're gonna push up. Boom. That's how they did us wrong. But still, look at that move from the PMZ. This too. That's what I mean. I'm kind of, I'm really here lately, spending a lot of time in front of the screens with everyone. I'm really like missing the beach trade. This is what happens. You get in front of the screen, you start doing like stupid stuff. When really all I needed to do was go along here, go to the beach, and then end up looking at this and going, hey, sweet, the PMZ worked. So just something to think about when you guys are in front of the charts. You know, Doesn't mean just because you stare at the chart all day, it's going to work out for you. So just know what your stops are, what your targets are, and go out and do something, right? All right, folks. So let's see real quick if I come over here. Okay, still nothing on Lucid yet. So, anyways, that's all I have. If you guys have any questions, don't be shy.